hit the button? Yeah, I did. Anyway, comments. I think I'll do some comments, and I have something to add, maybe. So I don't know exactly where this is going to go, but whatever. It's a video. You know, there's something on my mind, but I just can't. So I'm making this video, and we'll see if it comes out. Anyway, this black acid lizard guy pissed me off, of course. Racist asshole. Memes are the only way you get altruism. So that's a quote from me. He says, total bullshit. Evolution primarily advances within the group level, which is complete shit. Obviously, wherever a uterus is where the evolution is happening. So, I mean, obviously, groups, members of a group will have advantages in competitive circumstances. So yes, group dynamics has become part of evolution, but it's part of evolution. It's not all of evolution. All mammals and most multicellular life forms exist within societies. Well, I don't even know if that's true. Most. I don't think it's most multicellular life forms. I don't think most multicellular life forms, they end up in colonies just because they reproduce rampantly, but they're still individuals surviving, like schools of fish or something. So anyway, so to call that a society, I think it's overdoing it. They're clumps. The society doesn't have any real character. Just doesn't. Anyway, like a flock of birds almost. They hang out together, but they don't really do anything functional together. Hey, Inmendham, bees don't have memes, you idiot. Yeah, so you use bees as an example, which is really stupid, because, most bees don't evolve at all. They're drones. They don't reproduce at all. They're created by the female as servants. They're not evolving mechanisms beyond the fact that they're being deliberately created by her to serve a colony, to serve her genetic code. They're slaves to her genetics. So it would be kind of stupid to use that as an example, because, yeah, that's exactly showing how insidious evolution can become, where it can get to the point where you directly create monstrosities for the purpose of their utility. It's almost eventually you could foresee a circumstance where an organism would evolve where it would create its own food organisms. It would create children for the purpose of feeding on them. Some class of child. It's perfectly within the realm of evolutionary possibility. So he's using this as an example of altruism, that bees somehow are altruistic. And so he would call making a slave to your needs. You'd call the slave acting altruistically. So if you chain somebody up and make them work for you, they're being altruistic in his understanding of reality. So it just points out that, yes, like most racists, like all racists, he is an idiot. Yeah, so, alright, just figured I'll read it one more before I ban him, whatever that means. But he's banned, and we will delete the crap. So moving on. This Clifford guy, I don't know, he made some kind of snarky comment, but he sits there, he makes a second comment saying, I agree with everything else, though. Well, if you disagree with something fundamental, agreeing with everything else doesn't make much sense to me, but whatever. I'm going to disagree on this one. I think most life is desirable. So most life is desirable. Frankly, this moment I'm caught up in right now isn't all that desirable. I'd say most of life is tedious, and if nothing else, just something you move through. Okay, but desirable, like I want to have a whole big pile of it. I don't want to do a whole pile of this. So I think that's an overstatement. And desire is a silly concept anyway. Desirable. What does that mean? People desire to watch American Idol. You think they desire it for a good reason? Yeah, sorry. and you are ignoring the value of pleasure. Well, I don't think I'm ignoring it. I'm just putting it in its proper context. You derive pleasure because you have some inadequacy, right? You can only derive pleasure if you need. If you're full, you're full. You're not going to eat. And so pleasure is just a manifestation of obtaining satisfaction of something that's deprivated in you, something you're lacking. You need your Maserati, or you need your $1 million, or you need your perfect trophy wife, or whatever it is. You need it. And that's how you derive pleasure, is obtaining it. And the fact that you need it is just a psychological pile of crap. So you want to turn that into some kind of, because you desire it is therefore good? Is anything desired a good? You know, the fact that you're getting off on it is okay. I mean, I'm not against pleasure, but I'm just saying I'm not going to put pleasure on a pedestal and say that my pleasures are derived through something good. I've had a lot of pleasure sometimes watching people I hate, step into a bear trap and scream and holler, metaphorically. Is that a good pleasure? I'm enjoying watching somebody else suffer, merely because I hate them. I think that's kind of petty and stupid. I'm not very proud of that. I don't think that's a good pleasure. So how many of your pleasures could really take scrutiny? How many of your pleasures are made out of anything with any integrity? I'd say most of them are crap. Most people would willfully go through massive amounts of suffering. Massive amounts of suffering. I mean, this is just so overstated. In order to achieve love, fun, fulfillment, etc. Love, fun, fulfillment, etc. You know how much, this just sounds like such goddamn gooey baby talk? Fun? Fulfillment of what? Keeping up with the Joneses? Oh, I won the contest today. I had the pinkest balloon. Love? What the fuck is love? Outside of desire, outside of lust. Yeah, right. I satisfied my lustful desire to fuck the trophy woman. Oh yeah, let's put that on a pedestal as something beautiful. No, it's crass. It's animalistic. It's puke. Okay, and you want to put it on a pedestal, that's your business, but I think it just proves how small-minded you are. Not to see the bigger context of the game you're playing, because a DNA molecule put these ideas in your head. The DNA says this is what you should be doing. And that's the only reason why you have those notions of desire. You desire that shit because the DNA molecule wants you to replicate. You're being duped. Alright, but anyway, so they would willfully go through most people would willfully go through massive amounts of suffering. And again, I would argue they wouldn't go through massive amounts of suffering. If you put it ahead of them, you've said, okay, you have to go through 3 months of chemotherapy to fuck this woman. I don't think most guys are going to want to fuck the woman for the 3 months of chemo. No, the only thing people are able to do is put their pain behind them. So, but if they had it in front of them, if they knew the deal beforehand, they wouldn't take most of the deals. So I think you're exaggerating people's passions. People are afraid of dying. They're afraid of being a loser. Okay, and that's why they play the game. They're not playing this game for a good reason. They're playing the game for bad reasons. I would argue there is a much higher probability of a human achieving a life full of pleasure. Full of pleasure. And name the person then. Whose life do you want to live? Did you see the way Farrah Fawcett died? Show me the life. Show me this life, this perfect life you want to live. Go ahead. Give me a list of the names of the human beings you would like to have lived their life, with all the crap included, all their divorces, all their bullshit included. Go ahead, give me a list of names of people who lived really cool lives that you'd pay $10 to live. Full of pleasure, with minimum suffering, with minimal suffering than an animal. Well, that's not even a proper sentence. Minimal suffering. That's what he wrote, right? I mean, I know I don't read very well, but he didn't write this very well. Human achieving a life full of pleasure with minimal suffering than an animal. That's what he wrote. I mean, it's right there. It's minimal suffering than an animal. I mean, that's what he wrote. I'm not saying it wrong. You wrote it wrong. Anyway, this is stupid. So anyway, this minimal suffering thing is just bullshit anyway. Yeah, it's just bullshit. Every life, some rain will fall, and then some bricks will fall. Just about everything. Very few people get to live a nice, gluttonous, piggish life and then just drop dead of heart attacks. That just doesn't happen that often. While humans are flawed, there is at least some level of ethics in human society. I don't, well, what's the ethics? What do humans value? Oh, that's right there. What do they spend the most preposterous, idiotically insane amounts of money on? Oh, what do they subsidize? Oh, yeah, baseball, football, soccer, even hockey. Just complete nonsense. What's on TV? Oh, yeah, trivial, silly, superficial entertainments. Bullshit. Ethics in society? What's the ethics? Huh? Oh, I see. Yeah, people work really hard, and 90% of the value of their work goes to 1% of the population. Oh, yeah. Ethics. Fuck you. And humans are continually improving the ability to stop suffering, optimize pleasure. Well, I would argue the opposite is quite obvious, I think. And I think Generation Zero, or whatever the new generation is, a huge demonstration of it. I never saw such a bunch of neurotics and kooks. Come on, half the fucking human population's on some sort of drug to get through the day. What a pile of lying nonsense. Humans are continually improving, right? They're spending a larger and larger percentage of their lifetimes, okay, percentage of times breathing in and out in a disabled state, and even a longer time dying. And you think that's improving? Okay, I think you're an idiot. Humans make progress. All other life is worthless. Well, that's just the silliest thing ever. I don't even know what to make out of a statement like that. Humans make progress. Progress towards what? What have we progressed? We do an iPhone? You think you've progressed somehow? You think human beings are after something different all of a sudden? They're doing something admirable besides eating and fucking? What else are they doing, shithead? And watching mindless television. Show me something that's gotten better. You're just so full of shit with this crap. And all other life is worthless and just propagates infinite suffering. Like I said, I don't know. That just seems so silly, right? I mean, domestic pets live pretty good lives. So I think it's just idiotic to call that infinite suffering. Yeah, I think it's almost, you can't get sillier than that statement. The average cat lives a pretty comfortable existence, does its favorite thing, which is sleeping. So that's just silly. The probability of giving birth to a kid that doesn't commit suicide due to suffering is extremely high. Well, yeah, suicide's illegal. Make it legal and see what happens. I mean, really legal. And it's already, 1 or 2% of people die by suicide. And you're talking about an act where you're overtly accepting the negative process of having to destroy your physical presence, which isn't going to be pleasant no matter what. And clearly all things that are capable of procrastinating would procrastinate about doing something unpleasant. If you have a choice to put something unpleasant off, you put it off. That's what people do, idiot. So fuck that nonsense. This probability, and again, what relevance does it have to reasonable perspective and unreasonable perspective? You're saying that most humans are reasonably perceiving the universe? Most people believe in angels, retard. You think if I took away their God and their angel, they'd be so keen? Maybe they wouldn't, fuckhead. This probability is dramatically increased with a loving, moral, responsible parent. Well, whatever moral means. And again, why don't you give me a demonstration of these great parents? I haven't seen too many of them either, actually. You ever see the Spawn of the Wealthy? Yeah, fuck you. Thus I would say only moral, whatever that is, and intelligent or educated people should be allowed to have kids. Well, whatever that means. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, obviously I don't think poor people should have kids because they can't afford them. They should pay their way. It's an entertainment. Poor people shouldn't have pets. Poor people shouldn't have anything they can't afford. It's okay, they're poor. That's just the way it goes. If you're poor, you can't have some things. I can't smoke cigarettes because I'm poor. Thus, I would say only moral, and then you're going to decide who that is, and intelligent or educated people should be allowed to have kids. Again, it's just so stupid. You don't have any evidence that the educated are great parents. That's for certain. The probability of a moral, intelligent person raising a life that not only desires and thirsts for life, but also can reduce suffering in others is extremely high. You don't have any evidence of that. You're going to throw a capital letter word like that? Extremely high? If you go show me the spawn of the fucking Hollywood. Show me the spawn of Hollywood that's done anything with their life. Fuck you. I don't agree. No one should have kids, but I do agree assholes shouldn't. Because there's bare alternative of not assholes having kids. Well, frankly, I think you're an asshole now. That's my conclusion. Frankly, that's just stupid. Yeah, there are worse people having kids, but this idea that you're good enough. You're good enough. I don't think you're good enough, fuckhead. So fuck off. I don't like you. Yeah, that's my opinion. I don't like you. Fuck off. Fuck off. So anyway, go agree with somebody else. You're not good for the subject. You just sound like some kind of racist asshole, actually. So fuck you. Your superiority bullshit. People who are poor shouldn't have kids because they can't afford to have kids, not because they don't have the character to raise kids. And clearly, the middle class and the rich have demonstrated no. What is morality? I love soccer. Is that morality? Being a good moral human is loving soccer and showing your kids how to play soccer. Being a good moral human is being a meat eater and showing your kids how to slaughter and kill animals and eat them. Fuck you. Oh, it's just so disappointing. People are just so stupid. They're everywhere. Everywhere you turn is asshole, 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 asshole. Just impossible. So anyway, the other thought I had, connected to the other video, sort of, where I was pointing out how, the attrition rate in football, how, there's no way I couldn't justify one paralyzed kid for the sport of football, let alone whatever the number is per year, 100 or 200 or 1,000 or whatever the number is. So anyway, I was thinking about the Hunger Game movie and the joke of it. It's kind of almost preposterously laughable that the Hunger Game would seem like some oppressively horrible price you're paying for peace, right? Where, 2 people a year die. Right? When you consider how many people die for stupid reasons, how many people are killed for by drunk drivers or whatever you want to go through, and then just think of all the natural attrition, the little kids with cancer and shit. And so we find that all acceptable. That Hunger Game is acceptable. Having a raffle, okay, where you're going to kill, I don't know what percentage, 2%, 3% of children, you're going to kill them with some horrible disease to justify your gameplay. To justify living your mediocre lives at your little coal mines, grinding at the stone for Mr. Rich Moneybags guy or something. Play your little Jonesy, keep up with the Smiths game bullshit. So how could the Hunger Game possibly be perceived as something worse? It's a nothing. It's a pimple compared to the natural wound inflicted. To our dignity and our welfare by hurricanes and tornadoes and cancer and you can go down the list of all the earthquakes, the brutalities imposed, the price you pay, and and like I said, so it's almost laughable, and it's laughable also in the sense that it seems like a pretty good deal in some respects, compared to the lottery we're playing, which is you got little chance of anything. Why wouldn't you take a chance? Why wouldn't you take a 1 in 12 chance at winning the big prize? Obviously, the downside is you'd have to be in a game where you have to maybe kill some 11-year-old girl or something, and that's going to be a little tricky. I don't see myself playing that role. But I would volunteer for the Hunger Game just to fight for whoever the underdog was. So what I would do is I would play the Hunger Game just so I could fuck up the game. Just so I could get in the game and maybe make it possible that the 11-year-old wins. That the weakest person in the game, I'd be their defender. That'd be fun. I mean, that would give you a life that actually means something. You'd actually be fighting for something, and you could feel good about being here because you did something of some sort of whatever, something better than a stupid game. At least you spit at it. You spit at it. So this stupid game. So anyway, but just a thought that was running through my head that, I already reviewed the movie and made these criticisms, but I mean, it's just such a, I mean, the movie can't even, I mean, how can this possibly mean something in the context of real life where you're playing a lottery every day? Every day's a lottery. Some stupid lottery. The drunk driver will kill you lottery. You're going to get cancer lottery. And you seem to accept all of those, and somehow the Hunger Game would be oppressive? By comparison, it's nothing. Yeah, it's fun by comparison to reality. So anyway. No, that's enough. Until next time. So.